Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum and good morning to all my lovely students who are here in the class. I warmly welcome you back to the class of Social Studies. As you know that this is your Social Studies teacher, Ms. Sunitra, and today we are back with another lecture. So let's get started. My dear students, as you know that we started the chapter Climate of Pakistan. Today, this is your revision class, and in this class, I want all the students to be active, to be attentive, and to answer me as much as possible. This chapter was the chapter number 5 of final term, and this is the last chapter of our syllabus. It is on page number 60. I do not want any student to turn on the book right now, okay? We'll be having the reading session ahead, okay? So you will be requested afterwards to open your book. Right now, you need to just focus over here. So, as you know that this chapter belongs to geography, and in geography we learn about the chapters that are related to the land, that are related to region, that are related to climate. Okay, so these kind of things are learned in the chapter in the section of geography, and the climate of Pakistan is one of the chapter from geography. So, class, first of all, I want someone to tell me what is weather. Those who know the answer, those who want to speak the answer, who want to tell the answer, they can raise their hand. I'm gonna unmute you. I'm gonna unmute those students who wants to tell me the definition of weather. Okay? I would appreciate if you use your words. Okay? Yes, Maniba, I have given you the access. Please speak up. Maniba, can you hear me? Maniba, are you there? Yes, Maniba.
A short period of a atmosphere
Speak
condition.
aloud. Speak aloud, Bide.
A short period of a atmosphere condition.
Okay. Very good. Okay, apart from saying short period, can you add some more points in the definition of weather? Does it change over a long period of time or a short period of time? Okay, Maniba, fine. Mute yourself. Yes, Isma. Tell me the answer, Isma Mohsin.
Weather Weather is the name given to the changing condition of the atmosphere which surrounds the earth.
Okay. Very good. Okay, so mainly when we discuss the weather, it is mainly the changing condition. 2 points we must remember about it. Number one, it is the changing condition. Number two, it occurs for a short period of time. It can be changed at any moment, right? So the next question is about difference. Who is the one who wants to tell me the difference between climate and weather? First, I want someone to tell me the definition of climate, then we shall go towards the difference. Khizra, I want you to tell me the definition of climate first.
Climate is the average weather conditions of an area over a long period of time.
Okay, good. So, see, what two things we saw in weather? It is the short period of time and changing condition, right? But when we talk about the climate, we say it is average weather condition. It is not changeable. It is average weather condition. It does not last for a short period of time, but it lasts for a long period of time. Okay, so yes, who's gonna differentiate it? I have told the difference myself, but I want someone to repeat it. Yes, Khazra, mute yourself. And the next turn goes to Aliza Khan. Aliza, unmute yourself. Aliza, Hafsa Nawal. Yes, Hafsa.
Miss, weather is a period of time which is for a short period, and climate has a long period of time.
Okay, very good. Or
And
which one
what
is
are their
changing?
instruments?
Hmm.
There's something like wind, storm, snow, sunshine, rain, and
Okay.
these kind of temperatures. And in the climate, we have some instruments from which we could measure
Okay, this
the
is going to be
condition.
another question. Okay, fine. Okay, fine. This is going to be another option. I wanted you to tell me the difference. I told you. Thank you. Mute yourself. Okay, class. So, after the difference, here comes the definition of weather and climate that we discussed already. Okay, so we are going ahead. Yes, guys, here comes a question. How can we measure the weather condition? This is really easy question and I want maximum number of students to raise the hand and tell me the answer. Those who are interested in telling the answer, please raise your hand. This is so simple. How can we measure weather conditions? Okay, the turn goes to Beta, who's there with the name of Safwan Suhail? Beta, who's there? Manahil or Minha? I don't know. Someone was there with the name of Safwan and Suhail. Please, beta, get into the class with your own ID, okay? So the next turn goes to Elisa. You're raising the hand, but when I'm giving you the access, you're not unmuting yourself. Elisa, unmute yourself, beta.
Assalamualaikum, Miss.
Walaikum salam. Can you hear me properly?
Yes, Miss.
Okay, beta, tell me how can we measure the weather conditions?
We can measure the weather conditions by thermometers, wind view parameters, and other instruments.
Okay, repeat slowly.
We can measure the weather conditions by thermometers, wind view parameters, and other instruments.
Okay, that is rain gauge. Can you please tell me how do we measure the temperature? With what instrument we measure the temperature? Can you please tell me? No? Okay, no problem. Mute yourself. But I'm not going to accept any answer in the chat box because I want you guys to speak, take participation properly, okay? If I am giving you the access to unmute yourself, so you can do it, okay? Don't tell me the answers in the chat box. So the turn goes to Taha. Taha, you are supposed to tell me the same answer. The same question is for you. How can we measure the weather conditions?
We can measure the weather conditions by thermometer, barometer, rain gauge.
Rain gauge. Okay.
Rain gauge.
Okay. Can you please tell me how do we measure the temperature? Among these three, what instrument we use for measuring the temperature?
Uh, Thermometer.
Yes, that is going to be the thermometer. I told you in the class as well. When you see the word therm, the word therm always indicates what? Temperature. Okay, so when you see this word, that is indicating temperature. So thermometer is the instrument or the meter which is used to measure the temperature. Can you please tell me about barometer? If you remember, I told you in the class. Okay, you do not remember. Is there anyone who wants to tell me that why do we use barometer? Taha, mute yourself. Alina, are you there? Alina Abid from 5G.
Hello, Miss.
Hello, Assalamu alaikum, Aman. How are you?
Miss, I'm fine. How are you?
Alhamdulillah, I'm good. Beta, why you came late in the class?
मिस नेट नहीं आ रहा था तो इसलिए
Okay.
अभी जस्ट कनेक्ट हुआ है.
Okay, Aman, can you answer the question which is in front of you on the screen? How
Yes,
can we measure weather conditions?
we can measure weather conditions by many other instruments, just like barometer, thermometer, rain gauge, and the
Okay.
other type of.
Okay, very good. Can you please tell me that with which instrument we measure the atmospheric pressure or air pressure?
Barometer.
Yes, that is barometer. Very good. Okay, now Aman, mute yourself, beta. So
Okay, miss.
many of the students have told me the answers. I am really glad to listen to their answers. Okay, so here appears the answer. Thermometer, rain gauge, wind vane, anemometer, barometers. Barometer. Among these, the three names are given in your book, that is thermometer, rain gauge, barometer. Okay, but you can write apart from these as well. Okay, you can write the wind vane, anemometer. Thermometer is used to measure the temperature. Rain gauge is used to measure the rain. Wind vane is used to measure the direction of wind. The direction of wind. An anemometer is used to measure the speed of that wind. Okay, so anemometer and wind vane both are used for wind, but one is used for the direction, another is used for the speed. With the help of barometer, we can measure the air pressure. Yes, again, there is another easiest question in front of you. What is climatology? You can give me a single line. You can tell me in the form of paragraph as well. I will appreciate if you use your words. Yes, so the turn goes to Usher. Yes, Usher.
Yes, Miss.
Yes.
Miss, whenever we see logi in front of a word, it means it's the study of the subject, and
Okay,
it's
very good.
climatology, the studies of climate.
Yes, this is the simplest definition of the climatology. The study of the climate is the climatology. Okay, so likewise, whenever you see the word logi, that is a Greek word. You know, most of the words are taken from two of the languages, Latin language and the Greek language. So logi is the word that is taken from Greek language. Okay, and this word means study. So climate, the first segment is itself showing that it is the study of climate. Okay, now I want someone to tell me the detailed answer of this question. Climatology, that is systematic and analytic study. Yes, Khizra, can you please tell me the proper definition that is in your book?
Yes, miss.
Okay, what
The
is
study of
climatology?
climate depends on a systematic collection and analysis of data and is called climatology.
Okay, very good. Now mute yourself. Okay, beta, so this is very easy. So we are not going to spend time over here. Here appears the definition that is included in your book. Okay, if you have been given 2 marks and if you have been asked this definition in the examination and you have been given 2 marks, of course you are not going to write only one sentence that this is the study of climate. Okay, that would not be enough for your marks distribution. So you need to modify it. Okay, you need to expand it. You can also write systematic collection and analysis of data of climate, and its study is called climatology. Okay, so the next question is in front of you. What are the main factors that affect the climate of a particular place? This is also a kind of easiest question. Only few of the students have raised their hands. Okay, Vanya, I'm giving you the access. Can you please tell me what are the main factors? I think Vanya is not having the mic. Okay, Malahan. Now the turn goes to you, beta. Can you hear me? Malahim, are you there?
Yes, miss.
Okay, how are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
Alhamdulillah. Okay, Malahim, so there's a question for you, that is, what are the main factors that affect the climate of a particular place? Can you please tell me?
Miss, the sea level
Sea level, okay.
and
Sea level is the factor. Yes, apart from this, is there any other factor?
yes, many more.
Okay.
Attend.
Tell tell me a few of these.
This
Malahim, tell me the
Yes,
answer,
miss.
beta.
Miss, the sea level and dishes
Does
from the sea,
distance from the sea,
dishes from the equator,
distance from the equator, okay.
dishes from the equator,
Okay.
and
And how high above sea level it is, okay? Now mute yourself. Yes, the turn goes to Muhammad Ali. Muhammad Ali, Muhammad Ali bin Salman, I want you to unmute yourself. Beta, I want all of the students to take participation. Why they are not raising their hands? Why they are not telling me the answers? Ali, unmute yourself right now. Okay, Mars. Mars, the turn goes to you now.
Assalamu alaikum, miss.
Walaikum salam, beta. How are you?
I am fine. How are you?
Alhamdulillah, I'm fine. Okay, Mars, tell me what are the main factors that affect the climate of a particular place?
The main factors that affect the climate of a particular place are its distance from the equator and imaginary line running all the way around the middle of the earth.
Okay. Maham, beta, do not tell me in the chat box, okay? Okay, fine, beta, and mute yourself. Amna, Amna Hasham. Yes, Amna.
Yes, miss.
Okay,
Assalamu
Amna.
alaikum, miss.
Walaikum assalam. Beta, please tell me the main factors that affect the climate of a region.
Um,
Okay, so the main factors that affect the climate of a particular place are distance from the equator, distance from the sea, height above the sea level. Apart from these, we can write the human activities. Human activities can also affect the climate greatly. Okay, so the next question is like, I want someone to tell me the answer that how does distance of from equator affect the climate? Is there anyone brave enough to tell me the answer that how does the equator affect the climate? Aman, can you please tell me that how does equator distance from the equator affect the climate?
Miss, the distance from the equator affect the climate is the some regions of the world is near to the equator.
Okay,
Like, for if we are not far away, that much far away from the equator, so we have a moderate climate.
okay,
So,
good.
Canada is far away from the equator. So it's not so no, Canada not has the moderate climate. It has a very cold climate.
Okay. So, okay, mute yourself. Good. So,
Oh,
yes, Aman, you're right. Okay. Simply, you can say that the distance from equator affects the climate. How does it affect the climate? If we go towards the equator, the climate would be hotter. Okay. If the distance is less, the climate would be hotter. If the distance is long or large distance is there, so the climate would be cooler. This is simple. Okay. In this On this page we can see that how does the distance from equator affect the climate. Okay, so the particular places or the countries or the regions which are near to the equator, they are going to be hotter as compared to the regions which are away from the equator, which are away from the equator. Okay, so if the distance would be larger or distance would be greater, so the climate would be cooler. And if the distance is short, so the climate would be hotter. This is so simple. Okay, so the distance from the equator affects the climate greatly. Distance from the sea affects the climate as well. Okay, as we know, the climate of Karachi is different from the climate of Hyderabad because Karachi is near to the sea. That is why there is moisture here. Okay, and Hyderabad is comparatively drier. Why that is drier? Because the distance from sea is greater in terms of Hyderabad as compared to Karachi. Okay, so distance of the sea also affect the climate of a region. Altitude, that is height. I always give you one of the example that we learned in chapter looking at the land, in which we learned that the tops of the mountains are covered with snow all year long. Why they are covered with snow? Because when we go to certain height, the temperature decreases, and the time comes the temperature is that much decreased that it may be the coldest. That is why they are covered with snow. So if the areas, if the northern areas, if we take the example from Pakistan, so the northern areas including Balochistan and mountainous regions, they are having cold climate. Why? Because they are the examples of the plateau as well. They are on the certain height. So because they are on certain altitude, that is why their climate is cooler as compared to rest of the Pakistan. Here comes the example. As you see these lines which are on the left of your screen, you will see the distance plus you will see the height plus the temperature. Beta, mute yourself. Okay, so you see that if we go to the 1,000 meter above the surface ground, the temperature will be 23.5 degrees centigrade. If we'll go more, if we'll go higher and higher, the temperature will be decreasing distance or the meters by meter. Okay, so this is how when we go up, so the temperature decreases. What is the climate of Canada and Egypt? Explain with the example, or sorry, explain with the reason. If you say that the Canada is having the hot climate, so why it is hot? If you say it is cold, it is having the cold climate, so why it is cold? Likewise, you are supposed to give reason for the Egypt as well. So first of all, I want someone to tell me, Hamna.
Yes, miss.
Okay. Hamna beta, I want you to tell me that what do you know about the climate of Canada and Egypt?
Miss, Canada has a cooler climate just because it's far away from the equator, and Egypt has the hot weather, just hot climate because it's near to the equator.
Excellent.
It's on the
Excellent.
equator.
Very good. Okay. Very good beta. So by taking one of the factor that was distance from equator, we can easily define the climate of these two regions. So we can simply say that the Canada is very far away from the equator, so that is why it is having the cooler climate, and Egypt is near to the equator, that is why it is having the hotter climate. Okay, and if we take the lines from book, so we can define it in a more proper way by saying Canada has cooler climate because it is towards the north pole, towards the north pole. Okay, there is equator, there are poles, north pole and the south pole. We know that the north pole and the south poles are very far away from equator, so Canada is near to the north pole, so that is why it is having the cooler climate. Okay, and Egypt is on the equator or near to the equator, so that is why it is having hotter climate. Good, very well done. Okay, here comes another question in front of you. What is the position of Pakistan on world map? This is also, I guess, easy question. So who's gonna tell me? Amna, mute yourself. Amna, mute yourself, beta. Yes, so Ghulam Mustafa, are you there? Can you hear me? Mute yourself, unmute yourself, Ghulam Mustafa. Alina, now the turn goes to you. Alina Abid from 5G.
Assalamualaikum, miss.
Walaikum salam, bete. Alina, you are supposed to tell me the position of Pakistan on the world map. Can you please do tell me the answer?
Miss, the position of Pakistan on the world map or a globe, we realize that it is located near the equator in the north of the Tropic of the Cancer.
Okay, very good. Now mute yourself, Muniba. I have given you the access. You wants to tell me? You want to tell me? You told me in the chat box.
Miss,
Yes, Muniba. Please tell me what is the position of Pakistan on world map?
Miss, it is near the equator on the Tropic of Cancer.
Okay, the Tropic of Cancer is towards the North Pole or the South Pole? Is it
On
upward
the
or downward?
North Pole,
Yes, it is towards the north.
upward.
Good, very good. Yes, someone else. Uh, Muniba, mute yourself, beta. Yes, Taha, tell me the answer.
Is what is the position of Pakistan on the world map?
Yes.
The position of Pakistan on the world map, it is near the equator
Okay.
and in the Tropic of Cancer.
Okay, on the Tropic of Cancer. Okay, Taha, can you please tell me the Tropic of Cancer and the line of equator? Are these the lines of longitude or latitude? These are lines of longitude or latitude. Do you have any idea?
Latitude.
Yes, these are the lines of latitude. You need to just remember that the lines which are traveling horizontally, they all are the lines of latitude. And we know that equator, line of, Tropic of Cancer, Tropic of Capricorn, they all are running from east to west or west to east. Okay, it means horizontally they are running. So they all are the lines of latitude. Yes, Taha, so thank you. Now you can mute yourself. Here is another question. What do you know about the climate of Pakistan? Is there anyone who wants to tell me the climate of Pakistan? Yes, the turn goes to Ali bin Salman. Ali, you have raised your hand. I've given you the access to unmute yourself. Maham Mujtaba. Maha,
Summer.
beta, what do you know about the climate of Pakistan?
Pakistan has a very diverse climate.
Diverse
Jacamabad
climate.
are above among the hottest place on the world, while the northern mountains region and Balochistan are extremely cold. The areas near the coast has a moderate climate due to the sea breeze. In
Moderate
summer,
climate, okay? The area near the coast have moderate climate, okay? And the hottest regions are Sibbi and Jacobabad. Okay, good.
in summer, Pakistan has monsoon. Monsoon bring rainfall to some area of Pakistan.
Okay, good. Malahim, I want you to tell me the answer.
Yes, Miss. Miss, Pakistan has a very diverse climate. Jacobabad and Sippy are the among hottest place of the world, while the northern mountainous regions and Balochistan are extremely cold.
Very good. Okay, why the why the northern mountainous regions are cold?
Yes, Miss.
Why the mountainous regions are cold? You're saying that the northern regions are cold. Why they are cold? Do you have any idea?
Because they are not the near the equator. They are near the equator.
Okay, good. Yes, Hamna, tell me the same answer.
Miss,
Yes, speak aloud.
the climate of Pakistan is moderate just because it is near to the equator, not on the equator.
Okay, it is near to the equator. Okay, I wanted to ask you the climate of Pakistan. You can tell me that what kind of cities or the divisions we are having, which are among the hottest regions of the world, hottest places of the world. Can you please tell me the example?
For example, Sibbi and Jacobabad are too hot.
Yes, very good. Okay,
Balochistan and Mari are cold.
okay, good. Yes, so Ghulam Mustafa, you were absent that day. You were telling me in the chat box that you were absent. So now I want you to read out. Where is Ghulam Mustafa? Yes, Ghulam Mustafa.
Assalamu alaikum, miss.
Walaikum salam. Yes, start reading.
It's from the above line or the second paragraph?